bringing some blessings in here and around the planet Earth, the universe, aligning me, aligning you, aligning us, because we need these blessings right now. We need to be in perfect harmony right now. And what that feeling feels like, try and meditate on that. But through this, I want you to hear what I have to say. I want you to, first of all, while I do that, while I say this, I basically attended a funeral today, and what I saw sit in my heart and in the hearts of men and women and children was sorrow, was peace, was forgiveness, was the meaning of what life is and how quick life can change, how quick life can be gone and appear. And it doesn't need to take a funeral, I'm trying to say, to realize this all the time. But in these moments when we bring people together and we have these conversations and we talk about how we have got here in the first place. Enoch Powell made a speech years ago when my nan arrived at the time of the Windrush. Black people were promised this life when they arrived here. They were hoodwinked into the idea that this country will serve them well and give them a good life. But since we've got here, I'll say a few people on a positive note have probably made the best out of what they have, and maybe based on the life they may have had back home, was able to even, bring some of that here and be able to have something to fall back on. But some of us that are born in this country have never been back home, a generation that's born here, and some of our parents, grandparents who's never been back home had to start from scratch. Now this speech, or what I've got to say, is not just purely to do with that, but to do with what's sitting in the hearts of our men and children. And that feeling of peace, the feeling of sorrow, forgiveness and anger at the same time, because I lost my cousin, but my cousin also has been transcended. And I know with his good heart, I only hope that in this place where he's resting right now before he even makes it, hopefully to heaven, into his heaven, because there's a place where you go before you reach. So it was spoken in Islam today, because we had a Muslim burial. Now I'm not Muslim and I'm not Christian. I class myself as agnostic, but I am a true believer of the Most High, that I am a creator. I like to just know that I know that there is something out there. I strongly do believe that. But because of the life that we live here on earth, it's so hard to have a belief in something. But I know there is a creator. But where men is involved, where there's corruption involved around things, around religion, around belief systems, I find it very, very difficult to condone myself to one of these spaces. But Islam seems like the closest thing, because I don't believe in no white Jesus. You understand? Based on the fact that where he came from, it doesn't make sense. But they want us to respect the white man. So this is part of the indoctrination. So there is obviously scriptures and the word which doesn't hopefully hold colour. It doesn't hold colour, but there is some words in there that tries to keep us in captivity if we read it a particular way. However, if you read past it, you can see that there is sanctuary and harmony. I believe in the hosts and the angels and everything else that, we can look to for hope and prayer and healing and protection. So now this guy when my nan came here, was fooled into the idea that we'd be looked after. And generations and 2 generations later, our men are being killed on the street. Now Enoch Powell made a speech like that. Yeah, the rivers of blood, look it up, check it out, listen to it. Because I'm not going to play it, because sometimes YouTube's a bit funny. If you play it, you put it on there, they're going to tell you, this belongs to someone else. Someone else has recorded this. So just listen to it for yourself. I was gonna play it, but now I feel like I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna keep this organic. I want you. That's your homework. Yeah, to go and listen to the speech. Yeah, Enoch Powell's Rivers of Blood. Young men especially, and women, and children, black, and hear what he had to say, and see now how he's hoodwinked us into the idea of killing each other, how it serves the police, how it serves the NHS, how it serves the funeral people who run the funerals, the burial grounds, because it's all money. It's all that money that's being invested back into Britain to make them rich based on our blood. So when we go out there, young African, Caribbean, wherever you're from, quick to kill another brother, you are serving still the white man's dream. You understand? You are serving the white man's dream. When you feel that anger towards another brother, it's not really you. It's the white man's word, because he has invested the word through the screens, through TV, through music. And it's not the white man singing those songs to us, but it is in the background. But they've got the black men singing the songs to us. I'm going to go and do a man something. I'm going to dip him. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm not even going to project these words. You understand? Because I'm a strong believer of NLP. But at the same time, I need to express it and understand, make you know when you're doing these things, when you're feeling this anger towards your brother, it's actually towards yourself. Because when you sit in the cell and you're crying and you're angry, why did I do this? It's because you didn't do this. You've been doing this because what the white man, and I'm going to say the white man, some white man right now are saying, it's not the white, like the white man are feeling sorry for themselves right now. The white man say, it's the white men are causing, are having the most suicide rates and blah, blah, blah. Look, I ain't got time to feel sorry for you right now, because thousands and millions of us have been dying for years. It hasn't, I'm not in no competition, but millions of men are still in the sea, bottom of the sea. The bones, yeah, the residual parts, whatever's left, that was dashed over for insurance, for white men to be rich, to be above and feel superior to us, all right, as a black nation, because the war is between the black man and the white man. Or should I say, every other nation that's whatever they want to put themselves above or below the black man, because the Asian man, close to the white man, he's got the Aryan blood, so he will feel as if he's superior to the white man, with the white man towards us. There was a time when the Asians and the blacks got along. Wakanda will tell you that when you watch the movie a little bit. There's a lot of fabrications in there, but there was a time when we used to get along. You know, when the Caribbeans got here, we used to look after our people, black people, Africans and Caribbean people used to get along together. Now, there's a big, high statistical number of African and Caribbean people hating each other. Look, the food, if it's the music, we're fighting over something subconsciously, consciously. But it's all part of the wings of whatever wing, if you're left wing or right wing, we're in the middle of it all. We're serving them, we're giving them our dollars and our pounds. Look, I'm not speaking just for America, because I know America likes to speak for America. But I'm speaking for all of our black people around the entire world, wherever you are, whether you're Dutch, if you're Portuguese, well, you speak the Portuguese tongue, because you've been robbed from your native tongue. Whether you speak Portuguese, you've been robbed from your native tongue. Whether you're German, you've been robbed from your native tongue. Whether you're French, you've been robbed from your native tongue. And whether you're English, you have been robbed from your native tongue. Understand the scramble of Africa. Yeah, when the man split up Africa and said to every white man, you can have this bit, you can have that bit, and you can have this bit. All those languages that I've just said. Yeah? you've been colonized. So even now, I'm colonized by the tongue that I speak, the English tongue. I have no mother tongue, been completely robbed by it. So when I'm having to speak, listen to this, when I'm speaking to another white fellow man, whether it's Cockney or having to sound proper English in order to get a job in the system, I'm having to force myself to be something that I'm almost not, to fall into his world, to be approved by his word, that I'm acceptable to come into his company, in his institution, or wherever it is. The acting world, the music world, unless you know, not equally, as well as if I sound illiterate, to make me and my people say like I've got a good influence, a big influence now, and I sound like an idiot. Yeah, no offense to Skiddy Bang, yeah, or certain other artists like drill artists and stuff like that that sound like, you know, a certain way. That's, you know, there's many tunes that are out there that's projecting that you can just say what you want and not have any what's the word? Not have any conscience about what you're saying to your people to affect their behaviors, and you can just say what you're gonna do with your gun, with your knife, the way you're smoking, the way you're thinking, you know, all of these actions that they need to make sure that's in the music. Exploitation of our women, how they're treating their bodies, how they look upon themselves, how they treat our men, how they look towards us, that if we don't have, yeah, how we break up our family homes because it's rife. I'm getting into one now. I'm just needing to just remember what this speech is all about, because I'm passionate about it. But these things are happening to our community, and when you listen to Enoch's speech, you will hear that this was planned. Yeah, my nan came over here in like 1955, 1954, yeah, when black people were coming, you know, you've heard it, but the newer generation may have not, because they're trying to wipe away history, his story, yeah, when you wasn't allowed, when we're trying to find a home, like people like my nan and her friends and people that she knew, trying to get into a home, trying to find somewhere to live, because when they came here, there was nowhere to live, there wasn't the promised land that they promised. Yeah, you had to knock on people's door to try and get a place to stay, and they'll be like, on the door before you even get there, no blacks, no Irish, no dogs. Fit us in the categories of dogs. And when you read books like The Heart of Darkness, which was even way before that, they saw black people as the other. So these people, white people, good white people would say, some maybe, yeah, who have been colonized in their mindset and their thinking that black people are all animals, monsters, the devil, the other, you know, like you see the other, basically subhuman, not human. And even now, we battle with this in our work environments, how they treat us, how they corner us into a section, how they dismiss us in conversation, how they don't accept, they don't listen, they want to be at the top, they act assertive to show that they're more important than us. Because we as black people, we like to take our time sometimes when we talk and we reason with certain things and whatnot. So sometimes to them, and how it's written in their literature, that we are illiterate or we're dumbfounded and whatever not, you know, we smoke too much weed, we drink too much. They do all of these things, a lot of them. But you see, intelligence sometimes can be a hindrance to a lot of these people. I previously had a conversation on the phone where I actually said to her, I had to call up regards to some insurance thing or whatever, and I explained to the woman what my call was about, and she just cut into my conversation, said, what's your reference number or whatever. I told her reference number. She then asked me what was the conversation, what was the call about. She initially didn't hear what the call was about when I told her in the beginning. So I had to have a go at her and say, look, You're moving too fast and you're acting like you are efficient, but really you're not, because now you're having to ask me again and I'm having to repeat myself. Even in work environments where people talk to you with we call it spaghetti words, using these big long words to explain something so simple, and they say it over and over again. Like, they must look at you, they look at us as black people, we're stupid. Because what are they seeing constantly in the media? And what have they been told in the past about us? What was the plan? What was the agenda? Yeah? So us young black men, well, we're going to feel so frustrated with the life. Like I said, you are not just the age that you are with the body. You're dealing with frustrations every day, and I understand. But don't blame your brother. Don't take it out on your family home. When a black man's coming home to his wife or his woman, and then she's doing the work for the white man to make him feel smaller, not really hearing him what he has to say, and vice versa, when the man is too angry and up and he can't deal with his emotions, yeah, and he's not wanting to listen and even appreciate what he has, you know, vice versa. I'm gonna say that this is what's going on. We're gonna it's gonna cause some split, it's gonna cause some anger, it's gonna cause abuse, it's gonna cause all different types of things. And there's a lot of PTSD going around in our families because of the suppression, the constant suppression. When you get constant suppression, your hippocampus in your brain it starts to shrink. That actually helps you with the hormones of stress usually. But constantly, too much of it, if you're getting stress over there, stress over here, stress over there, constant, and then it starts to shrink. And then your amygdala, which is another part of your brain, starts to swell up, which is all based on emotions, and it never goes back down again. Now you can reclaim back your hippocampus if you do the work to build it back up and understand, do some meditation, burn some sage, start feeling at peace, understand the regulation of your heartbeat. When you're standing in the queue, learning how it is to be patient, take time, find time to nurture, look after something outside of yourself, give service to something else. Hear me out. This is what Forward and Up's all about, people. Buy one of these t-shirts, man. Like, if you believe in this, not Nike. Nike say it's about victory. This is victory. Forward and Up mindset. Move people forward. Move your people forward. Move us forward. Let's go. Subscribe to my channel. Yeah? We want to build each other up. All these type of mindsets. Anything else that you see, people that you see around, you know, listen to 19 Keys. There's a lot of people doing really well. There's Kanye, who's really trying to come out and show you there's different things going on right now, and it's happening. It's really happening. So people, I don't know if I've said enough, but it doesn't take a funeral for us to be realizing at the time, because after the funeral, we will go back to our lives. Straight away, there's animosity amongst our people. This man from this end, that man from that end, gonna screw him because, you know, something that's happened before. We're gonna have to come to some type of truce here and come to some realization. Do you know what? We have to bun this now. I know this man might have taken out one of our man, or we might have taken out one of them man, whatever. But you know what? We have to realize that ain't our fault, you know. That ain't our fault. This is what the white man wants. This is what the Asian man wants sometimes. You know what? I don't want to blame every Asian man, because you know what? The Asian people are suffering just as bad as well in some ways. But right now I've got to talk for the black man, because the black man needs to heal. And I feel like when the black man is healed, the rest of the world can heal. Hear me say that again. When the black man is healed, and that means black woman and child, black man and child is healed, and we can move on, recover, deal with our differences, understand how we need to increase our black pound and black dollar, yeah, looking after each other. Don't just say it, because there's people who are having the black businesses but still treating our people like crap. Because we have it now. We got something now. So we're going to do this. But there's some really good thriving businesses. You understand? There's good businesses out there. I've seen the Crumble Mania, the really decent black woman up in New Cross who does a crumble shop, and she's employing black people, and she seems like a very good, manageable woman. She treats her staff well. You understand? There's people who out there, there's beauticians out there that, you know, as much as some of those things I don't condone in, because we're still kind of like trying to look like the white woman, and then vice versa, the white woman's trying to embrace the black woman, like be the black woman, wanting to push up, make her lips bigger, make her ass bigger. You understand? Yeah, there's all of that. And then the black women are wanting to straighten their hair and all of this. You're gonna be upset with some of the things I'm saying, but to be honest, it's true. The lighter our eyes are, the lighter our skin is, you know, all of this kind of stuff. I'm not saying that you can't go out there and have who you want to fall in love with, but really check yourself. Just think, oh my, am I doing this for love? Am I doing this because I've been indoctrinated? Wake up, do some meditation. Because love is love. I know that. And this is where we are. We are in this society right now, and these relationships can evolve. And if that woman that you're with can really understand where you're from, and you understand where they're from, and, you know, these mixed relationships can work. Look at Akala. Look what happened to him. His mum's white, and she took him to schools, and look how he's come out, and now he talks for his people. He's been educated by his white mother. So these things can happen, but I don't want to just go on like I'm condemning people for their mixed relationships. But at the same time, think about what you're doing. If you're just doing it, because when people came here, it was to be white, to be accepted into society, to, you know, to be somewhere, to feel as if being successful and being intelligent is white. No, and I'm not going to accept that. I'm not going to accept the fact that if you speak intelligently, you are intelligent, that you're white. If you have money and you get respect, you're white. No, because black people had that before. They had that before. But we have to work with what we've got right now, right here where we live. And if you've got staff that you are different creeds and colours and genders or whatever, yeah, people should respect you for you. This is what we want to get past. But not treat you delinquent or lower than them. Nothing, no one's superior or inferior to anyone in the greater scheme of things. When the funeral was happening, this is another thing. When the funeral was happening, yeah, everyone had their nice cars. Some people maybe had whatever car they had, basic cars, whatever. But you know what? Everybody had to cross the mud. Everyone had to walk onto the mud. The car wasn't going to take them that far. Everyone became one. It didn't matter what car you had parked up around the side, how fancy it was. Everyone had to get their shoes dirty. Yeah, even if you had to put on plastic stuff, but at the same time, we all was on that earth together. We all was one. It didn't matter where your house, what house you have, how much jewelry you have, how much car. Life, that's where it ends up, in the grave, with its ashes, in the sea, wherever. But we don't come back with none of this stuff. We don't transcend with any of this stuff. So when we're just taking a life for the sake of taking a life, think about what you're doing if you can think before you do it, because that's the problem. The intelligence is very low in some ways of thinking. The spiritual intelligence is low. The emotional intelligence is high, because we are very emotional people. Why? Because the amygdala, maybe for many of us, has swelled up. Check it out. Our mental state, we're based on emotions, because stress, PTSD, what's happened to us, our generational people in the past, the slaves, where they were treated and dragged from their homes and raped. See what I'm saying? Like, when I say the white people, the certain type of white, they do not care. They don't live this life. They don't walk these side of the streets. They don't see and feel what we feel. I walk into work. They don't know that I've been held up gunpoint by the police at the weekend. Not this weekend, but, you know, they don't know that they try to hold me up and look down my trousers and take off my shoes, knowing that I've got a decent job, that I'm qualified, that I've got a degree. They don't care. They care. And I say I'm attending the funeral. I'll talk to you about it. They don't care. They don't talk to you about it. They don't care about your well-being. But the white man goes off on a cough or a sore throat, and they're all over him the next day. Like, are you all right? Everything, checking on him. Black people don't bruise in their eyes. And I came off my bike. They don't care about my wrist. They're still asking me to pick up heavy loads and stuff. They don't business. They talk over you. They don't listen to you. They act like they're not listening to you sometimes. It's all this kind of stuff that you've got to deal with in your workplaces. You know, that's my story, but you got your story. I bet you got loads of things you got to say. I'm going to see it in the comments. You understand? When things are happening on your side. Yeah, one of my brothers who was working for a delivery company, was doing some moving or something, dropped something on his foot. The man fired him. The man fired my brother because something dropped on his foot, and it was the liability of the service. Racist white man. But I'm not allowed to be angry, am I? Gotta just remain calm, smile, deal with it. Like some woman said to me once, or white, well, she's Indian, but she thinks she's white. But she said, deal with it. You just gotta deal with it. In my face. She didn't even know what she was saying to me. She didn't know what I was going through, but maybe, you know, these are the kind of things that you've got to deal with on a daily basis sometimes, us brothers and sisters. Yeah? And it's so deep because some of these people have got powerful positions, and you know that they're just going to be what I call, what's the word that I use? I've got to tell you right now. Yeah? They've got powerful positions, like, I say powerful positions, but I use this, there was this way that I mentioned it the other day. Someone asked me how a meeting went. And I said, you know what? There's no point me having an honest account. I said, I started a conversation. If I decide to even try to talk to people about it, maybe have a meeting about it, maybe make a formal complaint about it, or whatever it is, yeah, I don't think it's any point, because I've seen how these people work and profile. And what I used was, I'm going to call this the NPD, which means narcissistic personality disorders. That's what I work with. Yeah, narcissistic personality disorders. That's NPD. That's my new word. Yeah, claiming that for people that actually are in self-denial. Yeah. They were like, I've got black friends, I've got a black husband, I've got a black wife. But at the same time, if they see how they're treating black people in workplaces, there's silence to the violence, to the abuse. When a white man comes in and asks about the working class white people and dismiss what's happening with the black people in schools and stuff like that. Listen, don't get me started. There's no point in me talking to people who don't listen. You know what I mean? You just keep quiet. Just keep quiet and burn my sage. Keep up my blessings, because the Most High looks out for I and I. You understand? Come back, meditate, and it will get you to a place. Because I know people are listening to this right now, appreciating it. I'm not suppressing my feelings, I'm letting them out. Because when you suppress yourself, but I want to do it productively, I'm not going to be reactive, I'm going to be proactive, like a brother said to me, you know, when I was expressing some of the things that I was feeling. And it's just easy to be just like complaining. No point complaining. This is Enoch Powell's idea of rivers of blood, killing each other, killing yourself. I mean, killing each other, we're killing ourselves, suppressing ourselves. I'm speaking from the heart, and I know this video's, I feel like, long-winded to a degree, but it needs to be said, and I hope every word that I've said is thought-provoking, but also thought-healing. Yeah, that we are trying to do something to move forward. And if, you know, like where there's this thing, a friend of mine always says, men are trash. Yeah. Or white men are trash, or something like that. It's like her philosophy is, don't just like say, oh, I'm not. If you're not one of them, then it doesn't matter to you, innit? But if you are, then you know what you need to do to deal with it. You know what you need to do to start making changes. Because if it's not you, and it's not you, and you're not just got the end, I don't know my own saying, the NP, the narcissistic personality disorder, the NPD, and look past your NPD. Think, is it really me? Let me just sit there and think about how I actually profile, how I actually behave, how I actually dismiss, and if you do all of those things, yeah, don't pretend, because otherwise, just the problems is going to keep reoccurring, and it will get deeper and deeper. And the future will, if it don't happen now, it'll happen with your children. They will have to learn it another way. And it might happen to your children, especially if they're mixed race sometimes. If you deny their black side, they're going to want to know about their black side. So it's better you educate them about it if you're white. Or if you're black, because some black people deny their own. And black people are doing the work equally better than the white people. So let's hope that you learn from this, we learn from this, we start to deal with our wounds for the future and move forward. Yeah, and yeah, bringing love and harmony and blessings around the planet. Forward and up, start of a conversation. Blessings.